Gujarat, parental consent may soon become compulsory for getting married. Citing concerns over love jihad, the Gujarat government has proposed amendments to the Gujarat Registration of Marriages Act. The government tabled the proposal in the State Assembly, calling it a matter of public importance. Under the proposed changes, once a couple submits a marriage registration application, the parents of both the bride and the groom must be officially informed within the next 10 working days, and consent of parents is proposed to be mandatory for registration of marriage. The government has also announced a 30-day window for public suggestions before the amendment is finalized. If implemented, the new system will require detailed documentation including identity proofs, Aadhaar cards, birth certificates, wedding photographs and declaration on whether parents have been informed. After verification by the Assistant Registrar, the application will be forwarded to the district or taluk registrar. The marriage will be registered only after 30 days once all requirements are fulfilled. The state government maintains that it is not against love marriage but says the amendment is aimed at preventing fraud, coercion and forced conversions and at protecting the dignity of girls and Sanatan Dharma. That's what the state government is saying at the moment. What are the implications of the new changes? We'll try and get you details on that. But in Gujarat now, major changes are likely. In the state of Gujarat, parental consent will now be compulsory for getting married. Citing concerns over love jihad, the Gujarat government has proposed amendments to the Gujarat Registration of Marriages Act 2006. The government tabled the proposal in the State Assembly, calling it a matter of public importance. Under the new revised proposal or the changes, once a couple submits a marriage registration application, the parents of both the bride and the groom must be officially informed within 10 working days, and consent of parents is proposed to be mandatory for registration of marriage. The government has also announced a 30-day window for public suggestion before the amendment can be finalized. If implemented, the new system will require detailed documentation including identity proofs, Aadhaar cards, birth certificates, wedding photographs and declaration whether both the parents consent. And after verification by the Assistant Registrar, the application will be forwarded to the district or the taluk registrar. The marriage will be registered only after 30 days once all requirements are fulfilled. The state government maintains that it's not against love marriage, but it says that the amendments are necessary to prevent fraud, coercion and forced conversions and to protect the dignity of girls and Sanatan Dharma. All right, we'll try and get you experts to break down what these changes really mean as far as the new proposals is concerned. The Gujarat government has now tightened the noose on marriages with interesting changes now proposed as far as marriage registration is concerned. All right, joining me on the show is Rekha Agrawal, Advocate Supreme Court and women's rights activist. Rekha, thank you very much for taking time out. Can a state government legally make these changes where consent of the parents is necessary to register marriage?
There are two takes on this. First of all, where the protection of women is concerned, particularly because in this news that you are breaking right now, the foremost reason that the Gujarat government is planning to make these regulations is to protect women from being cheated, and some kind of a fraud being committed upon them. As far as that is concerned, that is good enough, and the court and the state has the right to make such kind of laws and regulations. But on the other side, we also have the Constitution of India, which says under Article 21 that every person has the right to live the life that he wants. He can live, he or she can live the kind of life he or she wants, and marry anybody that he or she wants. So after the age of 18, any girl can marry anybody, and similarly, any boy can marry anybody. There's no question of faith or religion involved in this. So India is a constitutional democracy. It is not a parent supervision country. So how is the Gujarat government planning to make a balance between this? I fail to understand. Laws are made with a good object. That is good, as I just said, that it is there to protect fraud being committed. But how is this fraud going to be checked? How can you force a adult couple and a girl who's 18, if the constitution is giving her the right, a girl who's 18 and a boy who's 21, if the constitution itself is giving them the right to marry and choose the spouse of their choice irrespective of caste, color, creed and religion, then how can the state make parental consent necessary? I am
Well,
not against
that's the change, and it baffles me. How do you make parental consent necessary? You're essentially saying if the parents don't say yes, you're not allowed to get married. This is archaic. We are going back in time. But as far as you were asking why this has been introduced, Rekha, let me quickly tell our viewers right now. While tabling the proposal in the State Assembly, Deputy Chief Minister cited cases from Panchmahal district where there was not a single Muslim or mosque, yet hundreds of nikah certificates were issued. So nikah certificates were issued despite not being enough Muslim population and not a single mosque in the area. And he cited similar such cases from Navsari and Mehsana and Banaskantha. So he's saying there are many, many such places in Gujarat where there don't appear to be enough and more Muslim population, yet there are hundreds of nikah certificates being issued. He further says that it's a matter of public importance and we're not against love marriages, but we are trying to protect the dignity of girls and Sanatan Dharma. Rekha Agrawal, how do you protect dignity of girls by taking away their right to choose their spouse?
Absolutely. This itself, takes away the entire constitutional safeguard that every citizen of the country has. Every woman has got this constitutional right, whether she's a Hindu or whether she's a Muslim. She has the right to marry anybody that she wants. Article 21 is there. And the Puttuswamy case, the recent Puttuswamy case, where the Supreme Court has said that in matters of, intimate decisions, nobody can interfere in that. You have the right, the autonomy is there even in intimate and very personal decisions that any adult can make. So the bedroom, the government cannot intervene in the personal life or the bedroom of anybody and say that why are you marrying a Hindu or a Muslim. I think that the safeguards are well meant, that they're trying to safeguard women, but how they're going to do it, if they're going to make parental consent, then parents are not going to give their consent. And at the same time, interfaith marriages, these interfaith marriages which are there, which you're putting a kind of stigma attached to that, and that should also be taken away.
Also joining us on the show is Karuna Nandi, a senior advocate, Supreme Court of India. Karuna, does it really affect, if parents refuse to give consent, in most cases, this is likely to impact intercaste and interfaith couple. Do you believe it really violates a person's right to choice and right to privacy?
Good evening and thank you for having me on your show. I prefer to be called Ms. Nandi or Karuna Nandi. I wish that the government of Gujarat had taken legal advice, because what the lawyer would have told them, hopefully, is that any attempt to bring in such legislation would be repugnant to central law. Why? Because the Special Marriage Act and the Hindu Marriage Act have been interpreted in a way that safeguards the woman's liberty to choose. Indeed, even the requirement to, under the Special Marriage Act, to publicly announce your marriage and thereby making it vulnerable to the mob, right, is being challenged and to be struck down. So when we are thinking of constitutional rights, fundamental rights of women to express their love, to choose even someone who might be a terrorist, right? Because in Shafin Jahan, for example, that was the issue that came into being, right? Like there was the case where the young woman was, the woman was married to a man named Shafin Jahan, who was part of some WhatsApp groups. And the court said that, look, even if he is a terrorist, it doesn't seem apparent at all that he's a terrorist, but even if he is a terrorist, it's up to her as an adult to decide whether or not he's a good person or a bad person, or whether fraud has been committed or not. And for her to decide whether she wants to be married to this person or whether she wants to be a criminal to say that he has defrauded her to say that he has induced her to marry him and thereby bring a case of rape against him, right? So that option is open to her. To say that a third party, like the parents or anyone else, should come in and should be able to say yes or no to who she marries, means that the caste requirements around marriage, which currently are so strong and only about between 5 and 6%, I think, of India marries somebody out of their even out of their caste.
Right.
It's not just about religion, like giving parental control over individuals, giving any party control over individuals in this way is anti-constitutional.
Okay.
And the government of Gujarat really should get the center's advice.
So would be fair to say right now that this is open to legal challenge, and there will be legal challenge going forward. I have to also ask you, the ministers, in this case the Deputy Chief Minister, has cited cases of love jihad. Is there a legal definition of love jihad? Because for the longest time, love jihad cases have been probed. NIA has probed about 15 to 20 cases, including Shafeen Jahan case between 2017 to 2018, and has categorically stated that it's impossible to give a definition to love jihad and whether to know whether a woman was forced into marrying someone. You're also assuming that a woman is culpable, that someone else is taking decision from her. You're taking away a woman's agency. The minute you coin the term love jihad, the minute you make it a mainstream term, is there any definition of love jihad?
I can tell you the Hindu rights definition of love jihad. The Hindu rights definition of love jihad, I think it knows, is that there is a conspiracy to get Hindu women to marry Muslim men by any means possible and then to treat them badly, right? Now, the thing is that there's been lots of investigations and there will be one stray case here. People always say, but I read something in the newspaper or there was something on WhatsApp, right? So there will be the stray case here and there. Is it a big, huge conspiracy? Probably. I mean, it definitely isn't. But I would say that even the additional stray cases have come up because they've made it such a big thing. You know, whether it's Hindus inducing Muslim women to marry them or Muslims inducing Hindu women to marry them. But it's a drop in the ocean. I can't understand why these people don't. And when the focus comes to Hindu women's rights, these very same people say, no, no, this is culture. This is something for Parliament to decide. And this is something that we are not going to, that the government is not going to legislate on because India is not ready for there to not be marital rape for Hindu women or other women. India is not ready for equality when it comes to um, egalitarian divorce laws. India is not ready for protection, legal protection in multiple ways, and a lot of space is being given to these so-called men's rights associations.
That's right.
So, the whole thing is a sham in order to suppress Muslims. Right.
All right. Including marital rape for that matter. I mean, strong voices against any legislation on that. Before I let you go, you said that it's open to now being legally challenged. Could this be challenged as a violation of Article 21, which is right to personal liberty? Do you see, legal challenges mounting from here on?
Absolutely. It could be challenged as a violation against Article 21, against Article 19(1)(a), which is the right to free expression, but also void due to repugnancy and conflict with central law.
All right. All right. Karunanandi, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking your time out. Rekha Agrawal continues to be with us. Rekha, before I let you go, it does look like the argument that the state government is making right now is that we're trying to protect Sanatan Dharma, we're trying to protect women, but fact of the matter is, this goes against women you're trying to protect. It impinges on their right to decide on who they want to marry, what person they want to marry, and from what caste and what community. But at the same time, I want to understand from you, what happens in this case, in your assessment, if a parent says no? If a parent says, no, sorry, we don't want you to marry this person, if they say no, what about, the women's right to marry who they want to?
Shweta, that is exactly what I was thinking right now when Ms. Nandi was speaking, that, when we're talking about consent. So I do not know the entire scope of this regulation that the Gujarat government is planning to implement. That what happens if the parents say no? That means if the parents say no, that means that that couple or that girl or the boy, whoever it is, cannot go ahead and marry the person of their choice. So then again, it's a violation of your fundamental rights. It's a violation of Article 19. It is a violation of Article 14. It is a violation of Article 21. It is a violation of your right to privacy. So that means that the very democratic safeguards which are given to you under the Constitution, they are being violated with impunity, and by whom? By the government itself. So on one hand, we are talking of protection. Protection is fine, but protection cannot become permission. Certainly, safeguards cannot become surveillance. And so now, this, as I said in the beginning, that the motive behind these kind of regulations may be honorable, but what is the damage that they're going to do? I mean, they're going to make it like a jihadi country, like a Talibani country. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want to become
Absolutely.
like this.
Talibani country. I mean, that's such an appropriate way to summarize that, Rekha Agrawal, because we're going to talk about Taliban in just a few minutes from now. Thank you very much for taking time out. Thank you for joining us on that story.